We're continuing with dewdrops on a lotus leaf. It's from Ryokan's poetry. Ryokan Dewdrops on a Lotus Leaf, Part 7. After gathering firewood in the mountains, I returned to my hut and found pickled plums and potatoes left beneath my window by a visitor. The plums were wrapped in paper, potatoes and green grass, and a scrap of paper bore the donor's name. Deep in the mountains, the food is tasteless, mostly turnips and greens, so I quickly boiled the treat with soya paste and salt. Now we know what he's eating, huh? You were wondering. Say he's eating turnips and greens. That's what I like. But I like a treat. I filled my usually empty stomach with 3 big bowls. God, if my poet friend had left some rice wine, it would have been a real banquet. God, I savored about a fifth of the gift and stored the rest. Patting my full belly, I went back to my chores. Buddha's Enlightenment Day will be here in 6 days, and I did not know what to offer. But now I have become rich. Buddha will feast on plums and delicious potato gruel. Isn't that nice? It's nice to have a hut in the woods and just have somebody just leave something there. Want me to read it again, or I'm going to go on? A gift of 7 pomegranates. Wow. Splitting them, picking them apart, breaking them in two, eating, not letting them out of my mouth. Well, I don't know if you could eat 7. I guess you could. Didn't know if he ate all 7. Yeah, they're like tedious to split apart and break in two. Splitting them, picking them apart, breaking them in two, eating, not letting them out of my mouth. He probably kept eating them until they were gone. 2 poem letters. The weather is good, and I have many visitors, but little food. Any pickled plums to spare? Question mark. It has grown. Pickled plums?
Plums.
They're pickled. They must have pickled plums.
They're fruits.
What?
The plums are fruits.
Pickled fruits?
Are plums prunes?
They may be like prunes. The weather is good and I have many visitors, but little food. Any pickled plums? Question mark. I have grown chill and the firefly glows no longer. Will some kind soul send me golden water? Firefly was one of Ryokan's nicknames, and golden water is rice wine. Seems he wants wine.
Oh, yeah.
They don't send him any wine. How can he have a party by himself without some wine? Alright, some Buddhist monk. My cracked wooden bowl. This treasure was discovered in a bamboo thicket. I washed the bowl in the spring and then mended it. After morning meditation, I take my gruel in it. At night it serves me soup or rice. Cracked, worn, weather-beaten, and misshapen, but still a noble stock. To my new vase, from now on, you'll never be bothered by even a speck of dust. Day and night in my care, you'll never be lonely. Strange poem. This new vase. Noisy crickets now own the harvest fields. Bundles of smoldering rice straw fill the plain with haze. Farmers sit by their hearths enjoying the long evenings, weaving mats and preparing for spring. When farm families gather and talk, words false and true are never uttered. Yeah, they don't talk about, oh, this is false, this is true, right? Farmers? City folk aren't that lucky. These poor souls must bow and scrape all day. He's saying they're lucky they're not city folk. The words false and true are never uttered. Alright. The year will be over soon, but I'm still here in my little hut. Remember when Segyo was saying, how come I'm still here? I can't believe I'm still here. Then he goes, I can't believe I came to the same place twice. Well, he says, the year will be over soon, but I'm still here in my little hut. Cold autumn rain falls sadly, and leaves pile up on the temple steps. I pass time absent-mindedly reading sutras and chanting some old poems. Suddenly a child appears and says, come, let's go to the village together. That's sweet when you get bored with reading a sutra, huh? When you like a kid to come. I got tired of reading the same old sutras. And it's interesting they chant old poems, maybe. Anyways, he says, poems exchanged between Ryokan and his brother Yoshiyuki. I hear you play marbles with the brothel girls. The black-robed monk sports with pleasure girls. What can be in his heart, says from Yoshiyuki. Maybe he's been playing with them. Here it says, I hear you play marbles with the brothel girls. And Yoshiyuki says, the black-robed monk sports with pleasure girls. What can be in his heart? And then he says, sporting and sporting as I pass through this floating world, finding myself here. Is it not good to dispel the bad dreams of others? And Yoshiyuki says, sporting and sporting while passing through this world is good, perhaps. But don't you think of the world to come? Ryokan says, it is in this world, with this body that I sport. No need to think about the world to come. He's a real Zen Buddhist. He's not really thinking of the world to come. Seems that these people who aren't enlightened like to think about it. He's in the world sporting with the girls. Well, I suppose he can get away with it after all that training. Anyways, he says, Midsummer I walk about with my staff. Old farmers spot me and call me over for a drink. We sit in the fields, using leaves for plates. Pleasantly drunk and so happy I drift off peacefully, sprawled out on a paddy bank. What luck! I found a coin in my bag. Now I can call on my friend nicknamed the Sleeping Dragon. I wanted to drink with him for ages, but lacked the means until now. This is for Kaizan, the abbot of Ganjoji. Ganjoji is west of Hokido, a temple. Secluded among the rocks and hidden by thick mist in the deep valley, moss grows rampant and the visitors are rarely seen. Fishes dance in an ancient pond, tall pines reach towards the blue sky, and between the trees a glimpse of Mount Yahiko. One bright September day, on my begging rounds, I impulsively decided to knock on the temple gate. I'm a free-spirited Zen vagrant, and the abbot too has lots of time to spare. We stayed together all day, not a care in the world, sipping wine, toasting the mountains, and laughing ourselves silly. Enjoying rice wine with my younger brother, Yoshiyuki. Older and younger brother together again. But now both of us have bushy white eyebrows. It's a time of peace and happiness in the world, and day after day we get drunk as fools. In this world, if there were one of a like mind, we would spend the night talking in my little hut. Well, this guy is very... Look at him. There's a picture of him. Can't see it. There he is. Who did the calligraphy? I don't know. The inscription is the second poem translated on the following page. Now he says, how can I possibly sleep this moonlit evening? Come, my friends, let's sing and dance all night long, stretched out, tipsy under the vast sky, splendid dreams beneath the cherry blossoms, wild roses plucked from fields full of croaking frogs, float them in your wine and enjoy every minute. Late at night I draw my inkstone close, flushed with wine I put my worn brush to paper. I want my brushwork to bear the same fragrance as wine plums. And even though old, I will try harder than anyone. He's a calligrapher. Ryokan is reading from the Dewdrops on a Lotus leaf. Ryokan is born 1758. And the writer translator is John Stevens. He's a poet and a calligrapher. And of Japan. Part 7 is done. Oh.